Hey there, folks. Picture this. A quiet lake, shimmering under the morning mist, the kind of place you'd escape to with a fishing rod and a cold beer, dreaming of peace until the neighborhood bullies decide it's their playground. That's my story, and trust me, it's a wild ride. My name's Tom Hartley, a 45-year-old retired Coast Guard vet, now running a small water mapping business. And this is how I went from buying a forgotten slice of heaven to waging war against a power-hungry HOA queen who thought she could steal my lake. 3 years back, I stumbled across a deal too good to pass up 200 acres of land at a bank auction, complete with a private lake called Willow Lake, nestled just outside a ritzy subdivision named Crestwood Estates. The developer had gone bust, and I snagged the whole thing, lake included, for a steal. Now, I'm no lawyer, but I'm thorough. Spent weeks buried in county records, old maps, water rights papers, making sure every inch of that lake, from the muddy bottom to the shoreline, was legally mine. Crestwood's HOA, though, they had other ideas. See, they'd been treating Willow Lake like their personal country club, building docks, hosting yacht parties, charging residents lake fees for access to what was, in fact, my water. For a while, I kept quiet, played nice, set up some buoys to mark my boundaries, and installed a few hidden cameras to keep an eye on things. I wasn't looking for a fight, just wanted to protect what was mine while I figured out my next move. Then one crisp fall morning, everything changed. I'd taken my 30-foot fishing boat, nothing fancy, just a reliable old rig with a sonar set up out on the lake for some mapping work. I anchored near one of their shiny HOA docks, minding my own business, when I got back to shore and found a neon yellow notice taped to my gate. It was from Cynthia Reynolds, the HOA president, a woman who carried herself like she ruled a small kingdom. The note demanded I remove my unsightly vessel within 48 hours or they'd tow it, claiming it violated their community aesthetic standards. I read it, chuckled, and felt a spark ignite. Game on, Cynthia. I fired back a letter, calm but razor-sharp, attaching scans of my deed and water rights, politely informing her that not only was the lake mine, but every dock, pier, and party barge touching my water was trespassing. I sent it to every HOA member on their email list, figuring a little transparency might shake things up. Cynthia didn't flinch. She doubled down. That afternoon, my cameras caught her strutting down her precious dock, barking orders at a crew to build yet another pier, her blonde bob bouncing with every self-righteous step. I leaned back, watching the footage, and muttered to myself, "Oh, lady, you have no idea who you're messing with." The next day, my phone blew up. Emails, texts, a fancy HOA letter stamped with their seal, all accusing my boat of disrupting community harmony and threatening to tow it at my expense. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. They were ordering me to move my boat from my lake. I shot back another response, this time with a 14-day ultimatum: remove your structures or I will. I was done playing nice. That evening, I spotted Cynthia at the dock again, clipboard in hand, directing workers like a drill sergeant. I couldn't resist. "Need a hand with that?" I called out, strolling up. She spun around, eyes narrowing. "Tom, darling," she said, voice dripping with condescension, "this is Crestwood Estates. The lake's for everyone." I crossed my arms, grinning. "Not according to the county, Cynthia. It's mine, and I've got the paperwork to prove it." Her smile faltered, but she waved me off. "Our regulations supersede your little documents. You'll see." I shook my head, walking away. "Take it to court, then. I'll be waiting." Things escalated fast. One morning, a sheriff's cruiser rolled up to my driveway. The deputy, a guy named Mike with a tired expression, said the HOA had filed a complaint about my boat causing noise pollution. I handed him my folder, deed, maps, the works. His eyebrows shot up as he skimmed it. "Never seen a private lake owned like this," he muttered. Just then, Cynthia marched up, heels clicking, launching into a tirade about wildlife and community rights. Mike cut her off. "Ma'am, he owns the lake. This is a civil matter. Take it to court." She stormed off, face red, and I gave Mike a nod. "Appreciate it, man." He smirked. "Good luck with her." I thought that'd be the worst of it, but I was wrong. Late one night, my security monitor pinged. Two figures in kayaks were gliding toward my boat, one holding a gas can, the other a lighter. My heart pounded as I zoomed and they were dousing my boat's motor. Before they could light it, my drone buzzed overhead, spotlight blazing, camera rolling. They panicked, dropped the match, and paddled off as a small fire singed the hull. I called 911, hand shaking but voice steady. The cops ID'd one of them by morning. Ethan Reynolds, Cynthia's 23-year-old son, a kid with a rap sheet for vandalism. The local news ate it up, and Cynthia's press release painting me as the villain only made her look desperate. That was my breaking point. I called my lawyer, Rachel Carter, a no-nonsense former DA who loved a good fight. Tom, she said, this isn't just a dispute, it's a crime scene. We're suing Cynthia, the HOA, the works. We built a case like a fortress: trespassing, attempted arson, illegal construction, and fraud for collecting over $1 million in lake fees from residents who thought they had rights to my water. Drone footage showed their docks creeping over my boundaries. Financial records exposed their scam. We even got an anonymous tip emails from an HOA insider revealing Cynthia's under-the-table deals, leasing lake access she didn't own. The lawsuit hit Crestwood like a bomb. Residents started questioning Cynthia's iron grip. At an HOA meeting, voices rose, accusations flew, and Cynthia's loyalists dwindled. She tried one last stunt, hiring a crew to build a massive floating platform in the lake center, claiming it was community property. I raced out in my boat, documents in hand, and stopped them cold. This is my lake, I said, voice like steel. The foreman shrugged, confused, but when the cops and environmental regulators showed up, the project died. Cynthia's PR machine called it harassment, but nobody was buying it anymore. The trial was a showdown. Rachel laid out our case: maps, footage, financials, even the arson video starring Ethan. The courtroom gasped as it played. Cynthia's lawyer tried to spin it, but the evidence was a tidal wave. Over 4 days, her confidence cracked. She snapped at witnesses, earning a judge's warning. By the end, even her board members were dodging her calls. The verdict came on a gray morning, the courtroom packed. The judge's voice was calm but final. The Crestwood Estates HOA and Cynthia Reynolds are guilty of fraud, trespassing, and attempted property damage. Ms. Reynolds is sentenced to 5 years in prison. The HOA must dismantle all illegal structures and pay Mr. Hartley $2.4 million in restitution. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Cynthia's face drained of color. I exhaled, feeling the weight lift. Outside, residents shook my hand, some apologizing for staying silent under Cynthia's thumb. Back at the lake, I watched workers tag her docks for removal, my buoys bobbing proudly. I repainted my boat matte black, named it Cynthia's Regret, with a smirk. The HOA dissolved, and I set up a licensing system: fair fees for fishing or boating, funds going to conservation and security. I even teamed up with a local college for lake research, turning a war zone into a sanctuary. Sitting on my porch now, watching the sunset ripple across Willow Lake, I'm at peace. This wasn't just about winning, it was about standing up when someone tries to take what's yours, about proving the little guy can outsmart a bully. I'm writing a piece about it, maybe for a magazine, calling it How I Took Back My Lake and Toppled an HOA Empire. But here's the thing, was I too hard on them? Could I have compromised? I don't know. What do you think? Drop a comment. Have you ever dealt with an HOA nightmare or fought for what's yours? Share your story, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for listening, folks. See you on the water.